I am 29 years old and today I'm going to share something very personal, my exact net worth. Every dollar I own, every asset, and yes, even my debt. I'm doing this because I believe in transparency. This is a finance channel, and if we are open about our numbers, we can all learn from each other. So in this video, I will walk you through everything I have and how I got there and where I'm going next. A quick background before we start. I work as a dental hygienist and I'm self-employed. I earn around $6,000 a month, but here's the thing, I don't work full-time. A few years ago, I decided I didn't want to spend all my energy inside a clinic, seeing patients back to back burning out. Instead, I work part-time. I leave space in my life for other projects and for rest, of course. I rent my home and I don't own a house. In my free time, I focus on content creation. Right now, YouTube and social media don't bring in much income, so I do not count them as part of my finances. But I see them as an investment of time, something that could pay off later on. My system is simple. I invest about 60% of my salary each month. I save around 10% for vacations and short-term emergencies. The rest goes to living expenses, business costs, and lifestyle. That is the system behind the numbers you're about to see. Now, let's go from the smallest to the largest. The first one is cash, $2,140. I keep about $2,000 in physical cash. A lot of people say, why hold cash? Inflation ate its alive, and they're right. Cash doesn't grow, it doesn't earn interest. But for me, cash isn't just about growth, it's about flexibility. If I travel, if my card fails, if something emergency happens. So cash is an instant security. When I was younger, I once had a trip where my debit card got black. The only thing that saved me was a few $100s in my wallet. Since then, I have always kept cash aside. So while it's not an investment, it gives a peace of mind, and a peace of mind has value too. Business account. I have here around $3,210. This is my side hustle account. It's where content-related money and expenses flow. It pays for software subscription, editing tools, and taxes. I don't include tax money that just passes through here, only what is actually mine. The important part, keeping business money separate from your personal money, because mixing them is chaos. I have seen people burn out not because they didn't earn enough, but because they couldn't tell where their business ended and their personal life began. For me, separation makes finances clean and stress-free. Next one is Toyota Yaris. It's about $6,420. This is my business car. Now, cars aren't wealth builders, I know. They are lifestyle assets, and they lose value the second you drive them out of the dealership. This Yaris dropped even fast in value because it was an accident and one of the doors doesn't even open properly. I kept driving it anyway, climbing in from the passenger side if I had to. For years, it was about function and not pride. It still holds some resale value, so I include it, but for me, it's also a reminder that cars should serve your life and not drain it. Savings. $14,493. This is my short-term safety net. It's the money I keep liquid for emergencies, surprise bills, or vacations. Every month, I save about 10% of my income here. The goal isn't just high returns. The goal is stability and protection. Because if you don't have a buffer, you are forced to sell investments at the worst time. And that is how people sabotage years of progress. My saving account is very boring, but boring is good. Boring keeps me calm when life throws curveballs. If you like this video so far, please like and subscribe so we can reach more people. Then we have gold, $30,262. Gold isn't exciting, but it's my insurance. When I studied finance for myself, one lesson stuck with me. Don't put 100% of your trust in paper money. History shows that currency rise and fall, governments change policies overnight, and inflation quietly eats away at your cash. But gold has been a store of value for thousands of years. I also call it God's money. No matter what happens to the dollar, the gold has always kept its worth in some form. For me, gold is an anchor, steady, reliable, things there when times get rough. I don't expect it to double overnight, but I do expect it to hold value when everything else feels shaky. Think back at 2008. Stock crashed, real estate collapsed, but gold climbed. During the pandemic, the same thing happened. Gold isn't just about making you rich, it's also about protecting what you already have built. And here's what I love the most. Gold doesn't depend on someone else's promise to pay you back. A bond is a promise, a stock is tied to a company performance, but gold is just from you. You can hold it, you can store it in a safe place, and it doesn't require anyone else to honor it. That's why I keep a slice of my portfolio in gold, not too much and not too little, just enough to give balance and let me sleep better at night. Crypto, $31,862. This is the riskiest part of my portfolio. It includes Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Solana, and one digital index fund. Crypto is very volatile. One month it feels like I made the best decision of my life, and the next month it feels like a disaster. The world is moving digital. Payments, contracts, ownership records. I want exposure to that future. And at the same time, I don't bet the farm. Diversification and only investing what I can afford to lose. That keeps it from being reckless. I also treat it as a long-term hold. I'm not day trading it. I'm not chasing quick wins. I buy, I hold, and I stay patient for 10, 20, 30 years. Next one is my car, Audi. $42,800. My Audi is fully paid off. And yes, car depreciate, but I count it because I already paid for it. For me, this car wasn't just transportation. It was a reward. I spent years living frugally, driving the beat-up Zara, saving every dollar, denying myself every form of luxury. At a certain point, I realized wealth isn't just about numbers. It's also about living a life you enjoy. So when I bought the Audi, it was intentional. I could afford it and I didn't compromise my long-term goals. Some people would say you should have invested that money. Maybe I had, but to me, it was worth it. I also bought it because for so many years, I never did anything for myself. This car was a dream, part of what I call my rich life. I didn't go into debt, I didn't ruin my future, and I knew exactly what I was trading for that moment of joy. And I still drive it every day with a lot of happiness. Yes, I know, it's a depreciating asset, but you can't spend your life stacking money and never letting your wishes come true. That is not sustainable. Discipline needs balance and motivation. For me, driving this car every day reminds me why I worked so hard in the first place. It makes me happy, it motivates me, and that matters too. The next one, S&P 500, $101,075. This is the backbone of my net worth. Over $100,000 invested in the S&P 500. I don't touch this money, and I don't try to time the market. I invest consistently, and about 60% of my income goes there, and let compounding do its thing. It's not flashy, it's not exciting, but this account is my freedom plan. The money that will quietly grow for decades, until one day it let me choose how and when I want. The S&P 500 doesn't just represent numbers. It represents patience, it represents belief, and the belief that small action repeatedly over years create massive results. My total asset is $260,061. That's everything I own, from cash to investment to cars. Now let's talk about what I owe. Student loan. I still carry about $29,000 in student loans. I pay it off slowly, about $100 a month. The interest is very low, 0.46%. So I do rather build asset while paying this down steadily. Some people hate debt so much they rush to pay it off. That's valid. I completely understand. But for me, it makes more sense to invest where growth beats interest. It's not fun seeing this number, but net worth isn't just about what you own, it's also about what you owe. And discipline is facing the reality openly. Net worth at 29, total asset $260,000, liability minus $29,000, net worth $187,080. My money philosophy. People often ask why I take this risk, especially with crypto. My answer is simple. I don't fear risk. I fear missed opportunities. And I take my risks very calculated. Even within crypto, I diversify. I don't put everything in one coin. And the reason I have been able to build my net worth isn't just a huge salary, it's delayed gratification. When I was 16, I already have saved up $10,000 from part-time jobs. I never borrowed money from my parents or anyone. That discipline became the foundation for my financial life. While many people work 5 days a week, spending weekends dining out or traveling, I was saving and I was investing. Earning money is one thing, but keeping it is a skill of its own. Yes, sometimes I treat myself, like when I bought the Audi A5, but those decisions are intentional and affordable. I don't have no mortgage, no personal loans, and I avoid unnecessary debt. I'm not saying I'm ahead of the world. What I'm saying is this: if you start young, even a modest amount can grow into something huge over 20 or 30 years. And I believe in compound interest. I believe in investing. In another video, I showed how few Americans have $1 million saved up. It's a very tiny percentage. My life goal is to be in that group. The journey starts with habits and sacrifices most people aren't willing to make. Lessons learned and takeaways. Delayed gratifications works. If you can resist spending now, you can have far more freedom later on. Diversification is key. Don't rely on one single source of wealth. Invest early. Time in the market matters more than timing the market. Separate your finances and keep personal, business, and tax money clearly divided. Live below your means. You do not need to work 60 hours a week if you keep your expenses low. Debt strategy matters. Sometimes keeping certain low interest debt can work to your advantage. That is my full net worth at 29. Now I want to hear from you. What is your net worth and how old are you? Drop it in the comments. And if you want to know how I saved up this money, watch this video.